What's up guys, it's Roger, and today I'm going to try to get this intro done before the servers go down again, so let's go ahead and get in this build. We're doing a pretty simple, regular Blink Warlock build with our Astrocyte burst, of course. You know, the Astrocyte was buffed pretty recently, and we actually do get it to where it actually puts a little bit of a volatile effect around us from where we blink, which is really nice, but that's not the part that's good. The part that's good about this Astrocyte that I've really realized since the buff has came is the fact that now that when you blink near something like a shield or a trip mine or a stasis turret, you know, any kind of object like that, it actually does damage to it. Hundreds of damage, in fact. You can do, I think, like 75% of a Titan Shield's health to it, which is really nice. You can instantly kill trip mines, even young Ahamkara trip mines. They just instantly die when you blink near them. And you can do that from around a corner too, because it actually has a little sphere of influence around you when you use that blink. So I am actually liking this buff quite a bit. Thought I'd update you guys on my thoughts about the buff now that we've had it for a little bit and I've had more time to experiment with it. I really do that. I like that aspect of the buff the most. Now, when it comes to our actually mods and stuff here, it's just pretty simple stuff. You can have a strand and a solar targeting, same thing with the unflinching, and you'll see what weapons we're using with that very soon. I have 3 ways to make orbs of power as usual, with my firepower, my heavy-handed, and my Reaper mod. Now, as always, you can pause if you want to read these mods more in depth, but essentially we're going to get those orbs of power and then pick them up using our absolution, our orbs of restoration, and our second orbs of restoration. I have 2 of these. It's diminishing returns, so the second mod you have will not do as much effectiveness as the first one, but it's still more than having just one, and that gives us a bunch of ability energy back, as well as every time we cast a rift, we get around 20 to 25% of our grenade energy back, because we have 2 bomber mods on right here. Pretty good stuff. This is how I like to run my PvP setup. Now, you're gonna see at the beginning of the gameplay, I was actually using the Malediction hand cannon. Now, of course, this is the new pinnacle weapon or whatever they're called nowadays that we got for this season that you can get from the vendors such as Shaxx. And this one is pretty fun. I enjoy it quite a bit. It honestly has the feel of a 140 hand cannon, but it's on a 120. It has enlightened action and explosive payload with the new perk of Wildcard, and it's a pretty fun gun, but I just wasn't feeling it. So you're gonna see later on in the gameplay, I actually switch over to the different times pulse rifle, which is one of my favorite pulses in the entire game. I don't use pulses that often anymore, but I was really looking at this thing in my inventory and I went, you know what, I want to have some fun with this thing, and I'm glad I did, because once I slapped this pulse on, I had just a flawless card, you know, didn't drop a single match and got my lighthouse, so that felt really good. Definitely recommend you craft one of these things. If you do, I recommend you go for small bore, ricochet rounds, enhanced moving target, and hatchling. You can go enhanced hatchling if you want to, and there are some kill perks you can go in this column. However, I just have a lot of fun with hatchling. I think it's a cool perk, and that's the reason I like to use it. You don't always need to use like the most meta stuff in the game. This is something that I have fun with, so I like to use it, and I don't think I need any more explanation than that. I do want to say also, Unsated Hunger is something that on the artifact right now, you can do 2 upgrades that will actually buff Unsated Hunger to make it have more effectiveness, so I would recommend doing that if you're going to use a gun that has this origin trait on it. Usually I am shotgunning, but I wanted to fusion rifle a little bit today. I've been having a lot of fun with my Cartesian coordinate here. You can see I have a good amount of kills on this thing. It's something I've used a good bit. When I usually do fusion rifle in PvP, this is my go-to one to use. And in case you guys don't really know how to blink fusion rifle that well, I'll try to explain that a little bit when we get into the gameplay, because it's a little bit different than how you're going to be using your blink if you're going to be doing something like shotgunning. So I'll try to lay that out for you guys when we get into the gameplay. The build is pretty simple. I'm just going to touch on the stuff that really matters here. Nova Bomb, of course, Healing Rift, Blink. We have Pocket Singularity, you know, so many great choices for our melee here, but I think we're going to go with Pocket Singularity today. I do have on Axiom Bolts. I think they work the best on Javelin 4, which is the map for this weekend. You can chase out your enemies, pinch your enemies with these Axiom Bolts, and get a lot of easy kills with these. Now, over here on our aspects, it's the same 2 that I usually use, which is going to be Feed the Void, so we can proc our Devour. That'll full heal us and give some grenade energy back on every kill, as well as it does extend the duration of the Devour when you do get a kill after you've used it. Now, over here we have Child of the Old Gods, or as we call him on my channel, Clarence. Clarence is my son from the Void. Once you cast a rift, he's going to go out. He's going to suck toes, he's going to suck cheeks, and well, some other things that I can't quite say on my Christian Minecraft server, so let's just say this man likes to suck. Now, after that, we have our fragments down here. It's the same usual stuff that I like to run, and these are the 4 fragments that I think are the very best on Void Warlock. That's going to be Echo of Dilation, so you get a very in-tuned radar to pick apart your enemies and know how you want to aggress upon them. After that, we have Echo of Persistence, which is going to make the initial proc of our Devour go from 10 seconds to 15 seconds. Now, after that, we have Echo of Expulsion, so we do get a kill on an enemy with a Void ability. Oh, look, contacting Destiny 2 servers. This is what I was trying to say. Let's hurry. They're going to explode a secondary time, and last but not least, we have Echo of Vigilance, so when we break our shields and then we kill somebody, we get a Void Overshield. Very nice stuff. Let's go back and finish this off. Okay, I don't want to get kicked out to the main menu. We're contacting the server, so I'm just going to say, if you want to leave me a like at any point, I very much appreciate that. I know I'm talking fast, but I want to get through this intro so we can go ahead and get into the gameplay. Love you guys. Thank you very much. I'm going to be on vacation for like the next week, so I won't have too much content coming out, but I hope you guys do enjoy today's video. If you do, make sure you subscribe. 7K, I'm probably going to be doing like a face reveal maybe, so if you're interested in that, then go ahead and subscribe, and I love you guys. I'll see you all soon, and without further ado, let's go ahead and blink on into this gameplay. Okay, we successfully managed to get that intro done without the servers absolutely blowing up to Kingdom Come. But yeah, I mean, they were during this gameplay. I'll have one clip where I show you guys that I got weaseled, and then I think it happened one other time. It was just ridiculous. I mean, these servers are just so bad. And then on top of that, they're getting like DDoS attacked, you know? And then it all goes back to like all this started with the bug last week. And I think I might talk about that a little later on in this video, because I haven't given my full opinions on that, but I actually do want to. So I'm going to do that in a second here. But first, I do want to talk about just blinking with the fusion rifle, in case you guys don't use this playstyle too often, or you're kind of figuring out how to use it effectively. It's going to be a little different than your blink shotgunning, but not too different. So with your blink shotgunning, of course, you're trying to blink in within, 2 to 5 meters, so you can get that very nice map with your shotgun, but not be too close to where you can't get your shotgun ready before you can actually use it. Because of course, as we exit our blink, although we do have 100 handling to whatever weapon we are pulling out, if you have Astral Sight Burst on, of course, there is still that built-in blocker where you don't get to pull out your weapons for about half a second and actually use them and shoot with them as you exit a blink. Now, I do want to mention something that I don't talk about all the time, which is the fact that although you can't use your weapons immediately upon exiting a blink, you can use your abilities for the most part. So when you're exiting a blink, although you couldn't immediately shoot your shotgun, try throwing out your pocket singularity. And the same thing happens with the fusion rifle here, especially if you mess up your blink with your fusion rifle. Because what you're trying to do is blink into the optimal range that you could actually use your fusion rifle against the enemies. But if you mess that up, you land a little bit too close to your enemy, what you can do is, before your fusion rifle is even ready to start charging, is blow them back, not blow them on their cock-a-doodle-doo, blow them backwards with your pocket singularity, and then charge up your fusion rifle while they're still flying backwards. Be careful of situations like this. Although I didn't necessarily blink into this engagement, I'm going to blink out. You can see I actually did a little damage to that guy's clearance. I think I might have even killed it with my blink there because of the new buff to Astral Sight Burst, which is some pretty cool stuff. Luckily, my teammates followed me up there, which is very nice and does not usually happen. I actually played a good amount of blinkers today. I played this guy. He wasn't very good, but blink takes a lot of practice, so I don't really blame him for that. And I played a few more blinkers later on that were using Astral Sight Burst and whatnot, mostly on the enemy teams, but one of them actually ended up getting on my team. I think his name was Alex. He was a really cool guy, and he was like nodding at me in game, so I was like, maybe he recognized me, I'm not sure. If he did, shout out to him, and even if not, it's always just cool to see more blinkers. As you can see here, this is what I mean about blinking into the optimal range to use your fusion rifles. That second blink especially, I made sure I was going to land somewhere that I could look up onto the B hop up where I'm standing right now, and immediately map that guy without having to actually close any more of a gap. So that's the stuff you're trying to look for with your fusion rifle, as well as using your pocket singularity to push enemies upwards, especially against walls and whatnot, so they're flying into the best position that you can easily map them, and they don't have much of a counterplay. Besides that, you're using your pocket singularity to stop rushes of something like a shotgun, because if you're blinking into a range where someone's going to try to rush you with a shotgun, you can push them backwards, stop their momentum for a second, and that gives you enough time to actually pull out your fusion rifle and take them out. So overall, blink fusion rifling is pretty simple. Of course, fusion rifles, some people hate them. They can be quite crutchy, and in my opinion, I do agree with that. That's kind of why I like the rapid fire frames. They charge up much faster, but they have much less range. I think some of them still do have too much range, perhaps, but they're just fun for me to pull out every now and again. This guy got shoulder peeked out of his little mama's head right there. He did not know what to do. The boy does not know how to shoulder peek. Work on that, pal. And let's see, like, that range right there. Like, is that a fair range? I mean, I don't know. I think that's debatable, but either way, smacked that guy pretty good. Now, I do actually want to talk about what's been happening with the game lately, because I haven't given my full opinions on this, so why don't we go ahead and do that right now? I mean, if you watch my channel frequently, then you know that I don't often speak kindly about Bungie, and I'm especially not going to right now, because the game and the state it's been in lately are absolutely pathetic. You can see here me using my pocket singularity actually correctly with the fusion rifle, then he runs away, so I pulled out my primary. But as I was saying, it's just been pathetic lately. It all started last week, right? When we had Javelin for the first time. And I was super excited. It was one of the first times that I'd been excited about a Trials weekend in quite a while. Javelin 4 is my favorite map in the game. I think it is the best made PvP map in D2. And so I'm really excited every time it comes around. On top of that, we were finally getting the Igneous Hammer Adept. So I was super excited. We're all gonna get a gun we want. We're gonna play on a map that we love. It's gonna be awesome, right? No, because immediately I couldn't even finish my build videos for that day because of the bug. And the response from Bungie is what really pissed me off. Because here's my problem with it. My biggest problem is that they just don't care about the PvP community. They don't care about us at all. It's pathetic. The only reason they let this bug still go and said, go ahead, have fun with it, was because they wanted people to have fun with it, quote unquote, in PvE. Which, first of all, them saying have fun with it was just a lame excuse because they didn't want to say we're fucking terrible at our jobs and we're not going to actually shut this down or try to fix it as fast as we can. What we're going to do is just say have fun with it and act like this is some kind of little community event. Here's one of the times when I got weaseled, by the way. And that is just ridiculous to me. All they had to do, and I read the last 12 and they were like, we got a lot of comments, people being like, all you had to do was this or that, and we couldn't do it for this reasons. No, listen to me. Listen to me, Bungie. Are you listening with your stupid little ears? All you had to do was roll servers back about 6 to 8 hours on Friday and then disable crafting. If you couldn't disable crafting, then all you had to do was disable the ability to go into the Enclave. And I know it would suck to lose the access to crafting new weapons or being able to use your crafted weapons for that weekend. Obviously, I would hate that too. But we could have had a fun weekend of trials if they had just done that. And that's what pisses me off about Bungie. They don't take swift, decisive action. They sit here and they say, okay, here's a disgusting bug that is breaking our game, making it disgustingly unbalanced and terribly unplayable. And what we're going to do is say that it's not abusing the game to use it, that's the third thing they had to do. All they had to do was say, yeah, if you use it, you're abusing the game. You're abusing the bug. You're exploiting the game. You know what they have in the report section for players? An exploiting the game section. This bug that came in is exactly why they have an exploiting the game report function. That's what people were doing. They were exploiting a bug to get ahead. And they just said, you know what? I know we have an exploiting the game function. I know we say that you shouldn't exploit the game, but we're terrible at running a business. So go buck wild. Are you kidding me? And people kind of drawn like the comparison. Oh, this guy was kind of funny. I thought he was going to die to my accent, and my accent was just like, sorry, papa, I'm not going to tracks. Then I almost died to him, but I was able to spray his little butt cheek. People have drawn the comparison to like the laser tag weekend and how they had like the whole emblem from that. And that was one day from what I'm recalling and being told and whatnot. This is an entire weekend and then farther because stuff is still happening. The game is still getting DDoSed every day. The bug is kind of fixed for now, hopefully. Although, from what I've been told, there might be some other ways you could still exploit the bug in different ways. So let's see what happens the next few weeks, because now that people know that bug's in the game, they're going to do everything in their power to find new ways to possibly exploit the game in such a manner. The next thing I do want to kind of touch on a little bit is them saying that as long as you're not network manipulating, then you can go ahead and just have as much fun with the bug as you want. But literally people were going out of their way to network manipulate to make the bug work. Going out of your way to slow down your internet by doing something like downloading your games and then going and using the bug is manipulating your network. That's exactly what it is. And I think what they only really care about is network manipulation and PvP, which is funny because they don't ever care about PvP until something like that, apparently. But it's just so hypocritical. Where is this common sense here? Where is the thread that I can say, okay, this is how it worked once, this is how it's going to work, here's the actions they'll take. But now I'm just like, man, if this bug ever happens again, a bug like this ever happens again, we're screwed because they don't care. They don't give a shit. And really, that's all they had to do for that weekend was roll back servers a few hours and then go ahead and disable crafting. And the day was saved and we could have had a fun weekend. But they acted like that was impossible for some reason. Like that was so hard to grasp. Your paychecks are too big to be this stupid. Like, let me put it like that, Like, I'm not going to go pay a third grader $1 million, but that feels like what's happening right here. It's just crazy to me. So overall, I just hated the weekend. I stopped playing until Sunday when it was kind of working again, the game, and then I got my flawless with my friends, and then immediately on Monday, people found a new way to exploit it with the one-shot bows again, and then Trials was ruined kind of again, and I kind of limped through Trials on Monday when that was a fact. But the next thing that I want to talk about, and kind of the last thing I want to talk about around the bug, is the fact that I had a friend that didn't understand this the other day, and it was like 2 brain cell moment for this kid. The things you did, the achievements you unlocked with this bug went and undermined anybody else's actual achievements of finishing those things properly. Because now you can sit here, and it's like, the one that pisses me off the most is people that are going to walk around with like a Flawless Empyrean emblem, or is it Dazzling Iridescence is what I'm trying to say. The one that I have on, you can see that I have it on scoreboards, and sometimes, if you look in the intro, it's the new one where you can't be down a single game on your Flawless card. And it's an emblem that, sure, a lot of people meta abuse to get, but I was very proud when I actually earned that, you know, because I had a great card, I played really well, and I was proud to earn that. It felt good. And now I'm just seeing all these people walking around that didn't fucking earn it, that walked around with these 0.1 TTK weapons and just abused their way to the lighthouse, and now they have that. And I don't even want to use the emblem anymore, because it's like, you guys did nothing to earn this. The emblem means less now. The achievement means less now, because people could just go out of their way and scum to get it. It's the same thing with anything in PvE, to be honest. I don't do a lot of PvE, but I would be absolutely pissed off if I went out of my way to do something like a solo flawless dungeon, and then somebody else went and did it. You know, and any rewards I got from that, because I think you get like emblems and stuff for that, if I'm not mistaken. You can let me know in the comments, because again, I'm not a huge PvE guy, but I'm pretty sure you get emblems and whatnot for that kind of stuff. Or at least you get things like maybe stuff with titles and whatnot, but I know you get stuff for it. And that stuff just means less now, because people can just scum their minds out with these weapons and got those same rewards. And now those things just mean less. They matter less. And that sucks. It sucks to have your achievements undermined by a bug that they condoned people to use. And these people are going to be able to walk around forever now with these achievements plastered on their profile, and they didn't actually even earn them. And that's what peeves me off more than anything else when it came to the bug, you know? Losing a Trials weekend, whatever. At least they reissued this weekend with Igneous. I was able to get my Flawless again and play some Javelin. But I'm not even going to be here all weekend now after this. So it's like I don't even get to enjoy an actual Trials weekend on Javelin without the bug happening. Now, like that sucks for me, and I'm sure that happened to a lot of other people. And that's just not fair. There's so many problems with it. And the fact that they just didn't take any swift, decisive action, and instead they sat there, twiddled their thumbs, and said, okay, go ahead and break our game, is just ridiculous. I can't even imagine how an outsider looking in on the Destiny community must laugh at this community and at this game when they see something like that. I honestly think it's a bit of a laughing stock. If I ran a company like this, and my employees made the decision to do this when a major bug like this happened, I'll tell you what, I'd be cleaning house and hiring a bunch of new people. Yo, I had to bow down to this guy and pay him some respects because both of his teammates got smacked out of the game by, these terrible servers. So sorry to that guy, but it did give me my Flawless game, so yippee-ki-yay, we love to see that. I do appreciate you guys. Let me know your thoughts on the bug, if you agree with what I'm saying. And if you don't, go ahead and be respectful about it in the comments, because if you're just going to be a dick and be like, I completely disagree with what you're saying and you're an idiot, I don't care. You're just going to be an ass about it, then I'm just going to delete your comment and block you into the sun. But if you want to be respectful about it, we can have a little conversation. I'm fine with that. That sounds fun to me. But all that being said, you can check out the loot that I got here at the in-game chest. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you in about a week. I'll be back next weekend. I think we'll have more trials next weekend, but it might be Iron Banner. Either way, I'll be back and we'll have some fun times. So see you guys soon. Love you very much. Appreciate you. And as always, have a great day, Guardians.